Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, students. I'm reaching out to you in our third week. We are now approaching the third week. As you can see, it's early in the morning and I'm about to go out and get me a nice workout in. So every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up and go get me a workout. I wanted to put this video all together before I went out to my workout because I spent all day reviewing everyone's post. And I must say, most of you, if not all of you, hit it out the park. You understand the IT industry and the changing in the IT industry. You are on point. You understand that. And you know that working on a degree for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, or even 6 years, the industry will be entirely different when you go out and start working. So you understand that you have to do the work now. So this here that I'm presenting to you will be a series of different things that you need to know going into the IT industry. With the knowledge that I have of the IT industry, it will give you the opportunity to check off all the do's and the don'ts when you go out there or when you start pursuing it. Some of you in here are already in the IT industry, so you know what you have to go through. You know the hoops that you have to jump. But for those of you who don't know, this here will be your starting point to understand what you need to be working on now so you can be highly successful in the IT industry and you don't get stagnant. Don't want to leave out of college after getting your 2-year degree or getting a 4-year degree without getting the experience. So once you graduate, you want to have experience under your belt. You want to be able to demonstrate to the people that you interview that you have it down and you know what to do. So let's talk about what we're going to get into today in this particular video log. So I'm going to focus on what we call certificates. I'm going to focus on certifications, and I'm going to focus on degrees. All three play a magnificent role in your career, but you got to know why you need them. Just saying I'm going to get a degree and the degree may help me, that's not logical. You want to be logical in your approach in your career. Your career is the most important thing in the world. And I know people gonna argue with that. My firstborn, and yeah, okay, let's get back focused. We talking about your destiny, what you want to do, your purpose in life. And a lot of us hate to admit this, but it's surrounded around what we do. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. Now, in this particular field, you have to get started early because when you actually hit the ground and start running, you'll have a lot of things under your belt to demonstrate that you can be a highly successful worker in whatever organization you are in. And that way they will pay you what you're worth. Okay? So let us take a moment and look at certificates, certifications, and degrees, and let's stop mixing them up because we do mix them up. Some of us think that a certificate is equal to a certification, and some think that certification is not even important. Oh, okay, all that is a mess. We got to get this cleared up because we want to make sure we stay focused. So let's take a moment to go into that. Okay, so we're going to start at Oakton Community College. Now, first of all, there are a lot of different organizations out there that offer certificate programs. So that's where we start, certificates. And at Oakton, I want to show you what you will achieve in our certificate programs. But I want you to understand something. Oakton has a plethora of certificate programs, but it all starts with the number one thing And you have to make this decision. What do you want to do? I said that earlier, I'm going to say it now. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a programmer? Do you want to be a network administrator? Do you want to be a system administrator? Do you want to desktop support? It's a lot of things under the umbrella of IT. You have to find what you love, and that's what all these classes are about. It's about taking these classes and beginning to decide what do you really enjoy doing, because you'll be doing it for a long time. Now, listen to this. You get to pivot in your career. For the first few years of my life, I was all into the desktop support. And then I met an individual who was doing networking, and I said, oh, I want to get with the networking crew. And I moved from different position to different position. So once you experiencing what they call burnout, you can pivot to another position and still be in the IT industry. And we have a plethora of positions that you can go to. So it's no such thing that I don't like this, I'm gonna quit IT. No, it's I don't like this, I'm gonna move to something else in IT. So here's one right here, Cisco Certified Network Associate. That is a certificate program right there. And you can see when you click on it, admission requirements, program details, you will end up taking these classes. Now, I also want to stress, I'm only talking about the IT industry. I'm not talking about any other discipline out there. I am only focusing on the IT industry, okay? Now, these are the big wigs in the IT industry: Microsoft, Cisco, CompTIA, Google, Amazon. So I'm only talking about our industry. Now, you know every company, whether it's big, small, medium, they have an IT department. So I want you to remember that. I'm only talking about the IT industry, so do not compare this against any other industry, because our industry has the term IT, but it's a plethora of different positions you can do in the IT industry, okay? So here's all of our certificates under this particular program. You can get Windows Support Technician, Windows Server Administrator, Network Security Administrator, Cisco Certified, but these are all certificate. Now, Professor, what is a certificate? A certificate, it is just this. You take a certain amount of classes, and as you take those classes, in the process of taking those classes, you work up to, once you complete the classes, a certificate. We give you a certificate saying, hey, this individual came in here and took this, and we gave them a certificate for it. Okay? Now, ideally, you will complete all this going through a degree. So in your degree, you may get 2 or 3 certificates. But here's the dangerous part about that, and I gotta put this out there. I want to be upfront with you, and I want to be real. You can take that certificate to an organization, and they will think that you got a certification, and then when they look it up in the system, they find out you don't got a certification. So you have to be clear to the organizations distinguishing a certificate that the college gave you, or that one of the organizations like Coursera or one of them organizations gave you, from a certification that is an industry standard credential. Okay? Make sure you understand the difference. So these are certificates, and that's what a certificate is. Now, when we talk about certifications, and I'm going to show you a couple of more certificates in here too. When we talk about certifications, we're talking about sitting with an organization outside of the college that has said to the world. See, certifications apply to the world. Your certificate that you get at the college may apply to the local business or every organization that accept it, but they don't carry the weight of a certification. So your certification is applied to the world. Here is another certificate. As you can see, it's more classes in here. You get a total of approximately 25 credit hours to get this certificate. Okay, so after you complete all this, we give you a certificate. Okay, so now you know what a certificate is. Any college or any organization can give you a certificate based on the amount of classes that you have taken. Okay, Coursera, LinkedIn, all of them teach these classes and you can get a certificate from them. Now, when we talk about certifications, we're talking about a specific vendor issuing that certification. Now, certifications apply to the world. Wherever you go in the world and you're applying for a job, they tend to have what they say, we want this particular credential from Cisco, from CompTIA, from Microsoft. We want these certifications from Microsoft. Now that's a little bit higher. Well, let me stop that. That's not a little bit higher. That's more higher than a certificate. It's close to the degree. Now you will use your certification to actually get the interview. So this is how it works. When you get that certification, the employer who's looking for a person in that particular field begins to say, okay, on my job description, I need this person with a certification. And in that process, you will have that certification on there and they will call you in for an interview because you got what they want. We want a person that has this certification. We want a person that has this amount of 0 to 2 years of experience. We want a person for this. So the certification tends to get you in. And as you can see, here's a vendor called Cisco that has a plethora of certification. Now, you want to make sure whoever the vendor is, they have been vetted, meaning Cisco been around for at least 20 or 30 years, 40 years probably, because it's been around for a while. Cisco been around, I don't know how many years, but it's been around for a while. Microsoft, been around. Google, been around for years. So you don't want to go get a certification for some place that is not known. You want to make sure you're getting a certification from a vendor that is well known in the industry. One of the other places that we tend to go get certifications, you heard of CompTIA. So CompTIA is one of the organizations, one of the vendors that also have certifications. Now, the first thing I want to clearly stress, whatever certification you got from the big wigs, the Cisco's, the Microsoft, the Googles, the CompTIAs, that's a valid certification. So you should never look down on whatever certification you have. You should utilize the power behind that certification to maximize your ability to get employed. And for those of you who have certifications, here's a challenge for you if you want to take the challenge. Utilize the certification and go look for a job. One of the individuals spoke of, they have A+, and they have, I think, Network Plus, they said. Go look for an IT job. You probably already had it. You probably said that in the description too, that you have one. But go look. If you have a certification, start applying for jobs. And let's say, for example, I have a certification in Security Plus. I got a Security Plus. And I start applying for a Security Plus certification. Security Plus jobs. And I don't get one. But use that certification to apply for positions in the IT industry. So you know that a Security Plus is an entry-level certifications. So use that to start applying for positions. People don't have the courage to take whatever certification they have, and I'm not saying you, and just start applying for positions. And I know we want the big bucks, but what's more important now is that you get in the field and start working in the field. Okay, so if you come here to Cisco, you can actually play around with this by saying, okay, what do I need as an entry level? I click on that. Cisco has these 2 entry level certifications. One is in security, one is in networking. I am going to use one of these to show the young Professor Sistrunk how to travel through the field, and you're going to watch it. You're going to watch it with me and get a job in the position. So it's quite a few steps we're going to go to, but here's the first one here. You can see that it's multiple certifications in here that you can gear yourself to. And this is the same way with Amazon. This is the same way with CompTIA. This is the same way with Google. You just go on a site and you look at a particular certification and you go for it, okay? So it's the same thing if you're in security. Look at all these, a plethora of security certifications. Now, let me explain this part about certifications. Now, you see, certifications are different than certificates. In the certification field, if you wish to go get this entry-level certification, which is Cisco Cyber Ops, I would say once you got that certification, before you go get another certification, go get a job in the field. And you may not get a security job, but you want to get a job in the field. Okay, so that's important, because with that certification, you have power. You have an extraordinary amount of power. But let me clear one thing up. Just because you got a certification don't mean you know how to do the job. That's why it's important that you constantly do your labs. You keep doing your labs over and over again. But now let's talk about degrees. I'm going to go back to Oakton for the degree. Okay, so now once you complete your class, so this is what you're doing. You taking a class that you in, Network Essentials, Cisco, Linux. You in that class, you gonna learn, do this class, have multiple classes attached to it, because we want to show you how to break it down. Now, I want to get the Cisco classes, right? I want to get the Cisco certification. I got to take the classes, I got to get the certificate, but I want to also get the certification. So what I need to do when I come to the Cisco is say, okay, and this is just one area. Your area could be Linux, it can be security, it can be whatever. So I see what I have to take in these classes right here. So once I complete all of this, for example, CNS 105, I say to myself, can I get a certification in that? And if I can, where will I go to find that information out? Okay, I see that they have a certification prep class. So if I can get a certification in CNS 105, I'm going to take the certification prep class to prepare myself to go get that certification. So once I complete all of these classes, I got these certificates. But in the midst of these classes, Networking Essentials, I can go get a certification. Why do I know that? Because if you look at this Cisco breakdown, this is how you do it. In Cisco entry-level classes, they got a networking right there, certification. That's a credential. So if I take that Network Essentials and then come do this prep class right here, but I'm studying this particular certification, and those of you who are already in my Cisco class, you probably already figured this out. I can sit for that certification after I get through with this IT certification prep. So you get it, but that's one certification you got, and then you can complete the rest of this, get a certificate, and also now I can go get the CCNA certification. So then I can go over here and look in the Cisco catalog of things, and I'm going to put all on here. I'm going to say view all. I can look through the Cisco catalog and look for the CCNA, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but look for the CCNA and then go get that certification. As you can see, Cisco have a plethora of this. But people, I want to stress, what I'm showing you, you can do with Amazon certifications, you can do with Cisco certifications, you can do with Google certifications, CompTIA certifications, you can do it with any of them. Now, ideally, you want to sit down with your professor and have a discussion about this before you go way off the rails. Hey, professor, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you think this will match up? And that's why I'm presenting this to you now. Now, when you get one certification, you take that certification and go in the field and start working. But now let's talk about degrees. So you have now completed some coursework. You got a certificate. Ideally, you have a certification too. But what is the degree for, Professor? Why would I get a degree? Degrees are critically important for this. A lot of people don't understand. Degrees are not useless. They're very important because, like I stressed in my earlier video, you use the degree to move up the management chain. When I started out, I had an associate's degree. That gave me the ability to be a lead of the team. I got my bachelor's. That gave me the ability to manage the entire department. So you get a chance to spread out. So that's what you want to do. You want to use the degree to move up the chain in the management, to go into the management core. And that's what the degree would help you with. But you just got to know, which degree do you want? Do you want to be networking or do you want to be security? And you look at all the things. Now, ideally, when you're working on a degree, you also working to complete your certificates and also complete your certifications. So that's what you use the degree for. The degree is not useless. It's just got to be applied in the right manner. Degrees will always be important in the industry, but experience, certificates, certifications, I will get you in there where you can start working. Now, of course, someone's going to say, well, Professor, I'm just going to go get my degree and I'm okay with that. And that's great. But remember, if you're trying to work in this industry and be a high earner, you need to get some experience under your belt. Remember, I told you, certifications in of themselves give you a year of experience according to the industry, but you need to start working in the field. Okay, this is Professor Sistrunk. I'm sending this to you. What I need you to do in this discussion question, and I'm going to post it down at the bottom, is to tell me specifically, what do you want to do in this field and what certification gives you the credentials to do that job. That's it. What do you want to do in this field and what certification gives you the credentials to do that job? This is Professor Sistrunk, and I'll see you in the next video log. So now you know degrees, certifications, and certificate. Keep them separate, people. Don't mix them up.